These cutting boards from Dollar Tree actually have some pretty incredible superpowers. I'm going to show you what I mean in today's all-new DIYs and hacks. Let's start with this quick and easy 5-minute DIY. Of course, you're going to need your cutting board and then head over to the office supplies section and grab a pack of spring clips. Not only are these really pretty, but they have a great spring on them, so they're going to work great for this clipboard project. Now you'll find the center of your cutting board, the top section here, and then drill in a pilot hole. I will say this is optional, but it's going to keep your cutting board from splitting. You're going to need a pretty small screw for this, about a 1/2 inch length, and you're going to just screw that right through the backside of your spring clip into the cutting board, easy peasy. This project is definitely the trifecta of DIYs. Affordable, so easy, and also functional. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Shannon from TheDailyDIYer.com. And if you're not new, welcome back to my awesome devoted DIYers. If you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any brand new videos that I post here every single week, and they're all budget friendly. This DIY is a definite must try. Very high impact for very little effort. So of course you're going to start with your cutting board, and we're going to add a design onto the front of this. This is the part that I love because it really gives you free range to design and create whatever you want for the front of this. So I added our monogram, our name, and a cute floral frame around the design. This design will be in my Cricut design space, so I will have that link down below for you, my Cricut followers. No worries if you do not have a Cricut machine, grab out a Sharpie marker or a paint pen, and then just draw on your design. Make sure to spray it with some clear matte spray before putting it outside. If you are going to be using a decal or vinyl, you're going to use, of course, your transfer tape to put your vinyl decal onto your cutting board, but I'm going to keep it really real here. This was kind of a pain. My tip and trick here, spray your cutting board with some clear matte spray. Give it something to stick onto, because whatever they coat these cutting boards with doesn't really allow you to easily transfer your design. So hopefully that tip and trick saves you a headache and some time. So now we need to add some eyelet screws onto the top of this cutting board. Easy peasy here. Use a really tiny drill bit and put 2 of them onto the corners of the top side of your cutting board here. That is going to allow you to very easily screw in those eyelet screws. And here's another pro tip for you, as it's a little bit difficult once we start getting down into the nitty-gritty of the cutting board. Take a screwdriver. It's going to give you some leverage so you can go ahead and screw the rest of the eyelet all the way into your cutting board. Now you're going to notice that the opening of the eyelets, the circles, are facing you. That's a little tip and trick here that's going to save you a little bit of time, and those details matter when we go to hang this up. So back in the office supply section, grab some of these binder rings. They're metal, they open up. Put 1 through each one of the eyelets, and that's what's going to hang on our flag sign. That is, again, from Dollar Tree. So yes, while you're at Dollar Tree, go ahead and grab one of their flag stands, and that is how we are going to suspend our wood flag. So easy, you just slide those rings right over the hook and you are good to go. So the best part about this is, of course, those cutting boards are super affordable, so you're able to make as many as you want, make them for the different holidays, seasons, and they're double-sided, so you kind of could get a 2-in-1 deal here. Before we get into this next awesome DIY, I have to tell you, Honey Prince Paper Co. is about to launch a brand new collection next week, but before that happens, the Flower Truck collection is going to be retiring and going into the vault. And you definitely don't want to miss out on this collection, because once it's gone, it is gone. There are so many great printables with this collection that will make it come to life. And if you haven't heard of Honey Prints Paper Co., it is my brand new paper printables crafting club where I launch brand new collections every single month. You're also, when you sign up, you'll gain access to over 100 additional free printables. You get to join the community. We have challenges and giveaways and so much more. So if you want to try it out, you can use coupon code PRINTCRAFTENJOY to save you off your first month. So hurry up, grab the flower truck collection before it's gone. I'll have a link down below, QR code on your screen, and don't forget to use that coupon code. You'll also be the first to know what July's new collection will be. All right, so let's work on this mason jar vase hanging DIY. Of course, you're gonna need your cutting board, and this is a hose clamp. I will link the one I'm using down in the description box below for you. It's basically got a screw that is going to loosen and tighten it for us. We're gonna take our mason jar, put the clamp over the rim, and then use a pencil to mark up how high we need to drill a hole into our cutting board so we know that our mason jar is gonna hang where we want it. So again, I have about a 1/2 inch size screw that we're gonna screw through that clamp and then down into the cutting board. Before we add our mason jar onto the front, we are gonna take a sawtooth picture hanger and hammer it onto the back. These are my favorite ones because there's no screws and holding it and needing 3 hands to attach them. You just hold it down in the middle, hammer down on each side, and it just connects. It's ready to go, quick and easy. I will also link these down below for you. And next, all we have to do is add our mason jar. So place it into the clamp and then again, use that screw off to the side and a flathead screwdriver to tighten that clamp onto your mason jar. Now do be careful here. Obviously mason jars are glass, so we don't want it too tight, but snug enough that it's not gonna slip out of the clamp on us. Now I love this so much because of course you can put water and fresh flowers in there. Summertime, my garden is starting to bloom. This is one from our front flower beds and I just love to be able to display those other than just in a vase on a countertop, right? These would also be great if you made 2 of them and flanked them on either side of a mirror or a picture too. This next idea is surely going to impress you. It's actually 2 projects in one, and you're also going to need 2 cutting boards for this one. Let me show you why. If you've been here at the Daily DIYer any amount of time, you know my roots actually go back to woodworking. So no, I don't get it in my workshop as much as I would like to anymore, but we are for this project, which is exciting. So what I'm going to do is actually take my miter saw here and cut this cutting board right down the middle. If you don't have a miter saw, no problem. A handsaw works for this too. So as I said, you are going to need 2 cutting boards. One we did nothing to, and the other one all we did was cut right down the middle. I am going to suggest doing a little bit of sanding on the edges where we did cut it. This is a sanding block from Dollar Tree in their hardware section. Just give those edges a good go so that they're nice and cleaned up. So those littler pieces are going to be the legs of what we're going to create here, which is pretty much just a miniature table. So grab yourself some wood glue while you're at Dollar Tree. Yep, they have that in the hardware section. Add some of that glue onto the edge of the smaller legs and put the full cutting board on top of those legs. Now we are going to get a little bit more into this wood project using my nail gun. So these are 3/4 inch size brad nails, and I'm using my Airstrike brad nailer to add these nails into there. Hammer nails works. Using no nails works too, but of course the brad nails are going to give this a lot more stability because you're going to see here in a minute what we're going to do with this, and you're going to want the stability, believe me. But don't be afraid of a brad nailer. It is so easy. It doesn't even hardly kick. This is a battery powered one, so it's not loud. You don't need a compressor. And all we did here is obviously make a little mini tabletop, which we're gonna use on the edge of our couch or on the arm of our couch. So you can see I don't have a side table on this edge of the couch because it's just kind of a really tiny space. Fix that though with a little armchair tabletop for snacks, drinks, Even if you just want to set a book or something down, you could do that right here. Now, I did say that this was 2 projects in one, so you could use it for that, or you could use it kind of as a raised tray. So perfect to put next to your range. You can put things like your salt and pepper, oils, anything like that you want to keep near whenever you are cooking. It's also got the shelf underneath, which gives you even more storage, which I love. It's kind of tucked out of the way, and it looks so cute and stylish too. Now we're going to use those cutting boards to make some bookends. I warmed you up. We did one of those cutting boards cut in half. This time we're going to cut 2 cutting boards in half. So like I said, we are just going to mark the middle of these boards, take them over to the miter saw, cut them in half. And again, if you don't have a miter saw, get out your hand saw, go to town. These are not very thick, so it wouldn't take much to get through that wood. So here's our first cutting board cut in half. We're going to repeat that and do it all over again. All right, so now we actually have 4 halves of these cutting boards. We're going to come in with our sanding block again. Make sure to clean up all those edges before we start piecing these together. So here's another option. If you don't have the brad nailer, grab out your E6000 glue. We're going to put a few dabs on one of the edges, and then we're also going to use some hot glue to help tack this down. E6000 takes about 24 hours to cure and harden and be completely dry, whereas our hot glue is going to set up super fast. So that's going to allow us to not have to brace it or clamp it or anything. It's basically going to be good to go at this point, but we're going to let this sit overnight so that it's good and hardened so that it's not going to fall apart on us. And then as you can see, once we got the glue on there, we're just laying that flat and putting the second half of the cutting board upright to make an L shape. So I did let these sit overnight before then using them for bookends. We also have a nice space on the edges to then decorate with. So I added some cute little mini plants on the sides, but this is where you get to get creative. You can paint them, you can put whatever you want on the ends and make it your own style. And then just a quick afterthought, I thought this would also kind of be a nice little stand. If you have wood signs or pictures, you could use it to kind of prop it. That way they don't necessarily fall over so easily like this wood sign. Now we are really going to get into an awesome DIY and make a cookbook stand. This doesn't look like Dollar Tree DIY at all, does it? And really all you're going to need are 2 cutting boards. One we're not going to do anything to. The second one we're just going to cut a small section off of the bottom, so about 2 1/4 inches off of that second cutting board. Now we need to make a little stand for the back for our cutting board to lean up against. So stay with me here. We're going to use that miter on the miter saw, move our angle to 45 degrees, and I'm going to use a 1x4 here to cut triangles out of. So the first cut, you can see it is actually casting a shadow, and we want that shadow of the blade to go from the corner across. That's going to give us our 45-degree cut. Now I keep saying if you don't have a miter saw, use your hand saw, and they actually make miter boxes that come with them, so I will link my favorite $10 miter box from Walmart down in the description box below for you. It's a great budget-friendly way to get mitered cuts and save you a ton of money on buying a big machine like mine. So now that we have our first triangle cut, we're gonna move our miter back to 0 degrees because we're actually gonna cut that little triangle off here, so we just need a straight cut to do that. So not too bad, right? Now we have 2 triangles, a little bit heftier and thicker for the back of this so it doesn't topple over on us. So you can see these are all the pieces that we now have cut that are ready to be assembled. We're going to start by measuring up about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, so that way we can have a straight line for our shelf for our cookbook holder to go along. We're going to do this on the front, which is going to be for the shelf, and we're going to flip it over and do the same thing, marking a straight line 3/4 of an inch from the bottom, and that is where we're going to use our brad nails to attach this more permanently. To do that, of course, we have our wood glue again. We're going to put that right over our straight line. You could also do the method of E6000 glue with your hot glue if you don't want to do the brad nails. But we're going to use the brad nailer here. I wanted this to hang around for a long time, and this is just going to kind of make sure it's good quality once it's done and not fall apart. A little tip here is you can use baby wipes if you have any of that wood glue kind of seep out on you, and that'll wipe it off and it'll dry pretty much clear if you have any that likes to linger. So now we have the shelf on the front. Let's add the stand on the back. Wood glue on the longest end of our triangle blocks. I set the flat end of the block on the table to make sure I got the right angle of where this needed to be positioned before using those brad nails to permanently attach it. Again, E6000 and some hot glue here would suffice as well. We're going to do that, repeat that again for the second triangle on the back just to make this extra sturdy. Looking good, right? Nice and sturdy. We're gonna get all that extra wood glue off of the edges with a baby wipe, and the only thing left to do now is to add a handle. But look how good this is looking, just to give you a 360-degree view before we go on to the next step. The handle is the next thing you can grab while you're at Dollar Tree as well. I love these things. They are so nice. Great price, good quality, something that's just like, wow, I can't believe this is at Dollar Tree. We're going to use that on the front of the ledge, so that way whenever we put our cookbooks on here, they aren't going to slide off the front. Now you could find screws. It's a little bit of work to find specifically how thick they are, how long you need them, or you can do a little shortcut like I did and use some E6000 glue. I just put pretty good dollops on the bottom and then held it in place with some masking tape. Let this sit overnight so it was good and dry before I actually used it. It honestly felt so good to get back down into the woodworking shop. I miss it. All of the wood projects that I've made have been such significant pieces that aren't just junky and flimsy and fall apart. That's what I love about those DIYs. So it was really fun to use a Dollar Tree wood item to kind of get the Dollar Tree DIY and also the woodworking combination. And I hope that these projects have kind of inspired you to maybe step outside your comfort zone, step outside of your craft room, maybe into the garage or the workshop, and try some of these for yourself. Now, I don't have a step-by-step tutorial for this one, as I've had this in my kitchen for years. I did this DIY years ago, and it's just been our kitchen all this time, and I at least wanted to share it with you. But it's basically just a vinyl decal, very similar to the one that we did with the flag earlier in this video. So just wanted to show it to you and give you another idea of how to use these cutting boards. And one last reminder to grab the Flower Truck collection from honeyprintspaperco.com before that is long gone. Use coupon code PRINTCRAFTENJOY to save off of your first month, and a brand new collection will be launching on the 15th. I hope this video changed your mind in the way that you look at bamboo cutting boards from Dollar Tree. They have so many more uses, and I would love to hear your ideas of how you would use these down in the comments below. And if you're new here, please hit that subscribe button, and if you could, hit that thumbs up button too. That helps out my channel so much. And I would love to show you more budget-friendly DIYs, so I'll have 2 more videos popping up on your screen. Click one, head on over, and I will see you there. Thanks so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next one. Have a creative day.